Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Dawn here. So we are here finally to do our fussy cutting tips on how to create how to do fussy cutting easy without any issues. I have got my list and there is 10 points on here that I would like to definitely use. So yeah, let's get started. So I'm actually in the middle of doing another video where I have lots of fussy cutting to do, and I mean lots. So I thought, you know what, this is the perfect time for me to run through my tips on how to fussy cut, because apparently people keep calling me the queen of fussy cutting. I just enjoy doing it. I've had lots of practice, and I think when you've had lots of practice, it just becomes second nature. I also know a lot of people hate fussy cutting as well, so hopefully these 10 tips that I have for you will help. So the first tip is that I highly recommend is find a really nice pair of scissors that are comfortable. This is important because if you're going to fussy cut, it does put strain on your hand. I used to use the Tim Holtz scissors. Absolutely love them. Still love them. They are, they're just a dream to work with. However, it turns out I have arthritis now in this hand, and it was flaring my arthritis up really badly. So I was having to wear my gloves a lot, and I just didn't want to. It doesn't look pretty on videos. So yeah, I knew that I would have to either start using my brother's scan and cut a lot more, or find some more scissors, which I did. These were actually recommended to me. They were actually bought for me off a really lovely friend of mine, and these are the Fussy scissors, easy action. And you know, if you've got issues with your hands, arthritis or anything like that, I highly recommend them. They range from about £10 to £15 depending on where you can find them. These are off Amazon, and I think they were £11.99. Every now and again there is a sale on where you can get them for around £10, so do keep an eye out for that. But just type in Fussy easy action. They are, I think they're haberdashery ones, however they are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I've got sellotape on this for doing your fussy cutting. So that is my first tip for you, making sure you've got the right pair of scissors. Now the other tip to do with your scissors, and this is very important, this is where you can put a lot of strain on your hand, which was what you know, it wasn't until learning how to fussy cut, doing all the fussy cutting that I did, that I realized, but your scissors can be too tight. So on these scissors, can you see we've got a bolt, which means that if these scissors, if you're having to put a load of pressure, I'm not on these, which is brilliant, if you're having to put loads and loads of pressure on, they're too tight. You're going to put so much strain in this bit. I don't know if you see, but I've ended up with a little ganglion cyst on my because of all of the strain on my wrist. However, this can, by using scissors that are too tight, can lead to carpal tunnel, can lead to other issues within your wrist. It's not good. So you need a pair of scissors that are they're not too, as I'm trying to see, like these, you know, they move quite nicely. These are perfect. Again, I did get myself a pair of X-cut scissors. They were really hard. If you're having to really push it to cut, they're too tight. You need to either loosen them up. Some of them you can loosen them up, some of them you can't. These ones are easily adjustable, as well as these can be adjusted as well, I think. So you can get it really is, I do think it really is good for hand care. So those are the two main things when looking for scissors. Next one, when you start your fussy cutting, use this part of the scissors. So let me just, I'm actually going to cut. So when you're cutting, you don't want to snip at it like this and use that bit, because you're not going to get a smooth line. It's not going to happen. You want to use the full length of your scissors. So what you want to do is you want to start right at the back. So put it in, and can you see I get a nice long cut, it's going to make your fussy cutting so much smoother, rather than doing it a little bit at a time. I can't do it, but it's going to end up where it's going to have sort of a slight jagged edge on. You don't want that. So that leads me to that point. So that is point number 3. Second point, sorry, not second, the fourth point is go slow. If you're not used to fussy cutting, go slow. Get used to your scissors, get comfortable with your scissors, get comfortable with you know, the line that you're cutting on. If you go really fast and you're impatient with cutting it out, it can cause 2 mistakes. So especially when you start out, go slow. You know, get used to it. Eventually it will become a second nature. So that is number 4. My next number 5 tip, so the 5th tip, is if you've got a big page like this, don't just start go in, right? So let's cut this out. We're just going to cut it out now on here. And the reason why you don't want to do that is because you're going to have all of this excess card, which is going to be heavy. It's going to pull on your images as you're cutting out. So I'm doing this. It's going to pull at my image. You're not going to get the best cut. You can see straight away that that is blocking, so that I'm going to have to tuck that under. You're not going to, yeah, you're just not going to get a good cut. My advice is cut your images down. So you'll see me a lot of the time when I do fussy cutting in my videos, I cut my images down. So I cut them into the single images. So like this. And I make a pile, okay, of my images. Just like that. Get rid of that long bit. That makes life so much easier. So as you can see, you haven't got the paper now resting on your hand. You're not fighting with it to get around your image. It makes life so much easier when you come in to cut the paper. So that is definitely I would say one of the best advice pieces that I can give you. The next one is I would say is to practice. Practice makes perfect. I practiced fussy cutting for a very long time. You know, I didn't get this good overnight. I just didn't. You know, I had to get used to my scissors. I had to, when I came up to these scissors, I had to practice all over again because, you know, it's a new tool. I'm not used to them. Whereas now, I know the feel of the scissors. I know how they work. And I know, you know, you just get a feel for them. So practice definitely makes a perfect. My next tip is to move your paper, not your scissors. So when you start, again, if you watch how I do it, I never move my scissors. My scissors always stay in the same spot, but I always move my paper. This gives you a lot more control over your cutting lines and gives you, again, a better finish, because if you're moving your scissors, you're twisting your hand, your cutting hand, so you're not going to get that finish that you want. So always move your paper, not your scissors. Definitely a must. It really does make a huge difference when fussy cutting. So that is that one cut out. Next off, don't be too harsh on yourself. So if if you're fussy cutting and it's not perfect, don't get rid of it, because you know what, we're all not perfect. If you look at the kits that you buy from the shops, I mean, I've just gone wrong there because I decided to move my scissors. Yeah, if you go to the shops and you buy yourself a die cutting kit, look at how the machines have cut them out. The machines are terrible. You could do a much better job at cutting out than a machine, easily. So don't be too harsh on yourself, which leads into my next tip, which is don't look for perfection. If you look for perfection every time you're doing your fussy cutting and you're looking, and you want it to be completely perfect, it's not going to happen. It really isn't. You cannot expect to have a perfect cut every time. It's just, but you can have a near as perfect cut by taking your time, you know, by using some of the other points that I have used in this video. So it is all about how, you know, looking at, don't look at it as, oh, I've just done a little bit of a mistake there, that's not, it hasn't gone right, or I can't use that. Actually, if you walk away and come back, there's only you who knows that you've made that mistake. I've made one little mistake on here, see if I can find it, and it was right at the beginning, and it's just that, and as you can see, it is not noticeable at all. My camera won't even focus on it. There it is. Tiny, tiny little mistake. Nobody's going to see that. That's just you being really harsh on yourself. So, yeah, don't be too harsh on yourself. And don't look for perfection. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah, if you're looking for perfection, none of your fussy cutting is going to be right, and I've just gone completely wrong there. So yeah, so that is tip number 9, which leads us to our very, very final tip. And it's to do with your paper, and you wouldn't think this makes much of a difference, but it does. So at the minute I'm working on, I'm going to say this is around 200 GSM paper, cardstock. It's not too bad to cut out. However, if I got a sheet of just regular copy paper, which is about this size, is so much easier to go around and around and around. You know, you're gonna get a more perfect cut with a thinner piece of cardstock than you are with a thicker piece of cardstock. With a thicker piece of cardstock, I don't actually have a thick piece right on me, which I should have done. Oh, perfect. So my owls, these are actually these are on my in my shop. Now these are 300 GSM, and these are really thick. It's an easy shape to cut out, so it's probably not the best thing, but you can really feel the pressure when you're cutting it out. So you can feel that pressure in, and you're not going, if you don't cut away this edge, as you go around, it will tear. The weight of the paper is going to tear as you try and cut it. It really, really is. Whereas if this was on 160 GSM, this wouldn't tear if you tried to do a full sheet. But it would still be awkward, which is why I highly recommend that you cut them down. So yeah, so I hope those little tips have helped. I have promised to do this video for quite a while, and I just keep forgetting. And I just thought, you know, I'm cutting out right now, so I will share my tips with you. So I will just quickly run through them because I do have them on my little to-do list. And it's just find a comfortable pair of scissors, really important. Make sure your scissors are not tight. Use the bottom of your scissors to start cutting. So in here, go slow, cut your images down so you're cutting them so that they're in smaller bits, which makes life easier. Practice, move the paper, don't be too harsh on yourself, don't look for perfection, and thinner the paper the better. So if you are practicing and you are new to fussy cutting, do start off with a thinner paper to get used to how your scissors work, to get the feel of it and to get that flow. Then go on to the thicker paper. It really does make all the difference. So I'm going to leave that there, guys. I hope it helps, and I hope it helps you with your fussy cutting journey. Any questions whatsoever, please do leave them in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to help you. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye.